5 seconds. We can understand the anxiety of oil producing countries to conserve their depleting reserves of crude. We also appreciate their desire to strengthen and diversity their economies through investments financed by larger revenues from their exports of oil. We extend our support fully to them in their efforts to secure a dominant role in the international trade in oil, which has hitherto been controlled by a handful of private oil companies. We have cordial relations with oil exporting countries. The adverse impact of the rise in oil prices of the economics of developing countries like India is recognized by the friendly countries in Western Asia. We have to devise ways and means of ensuring that this genuine concern is adequately reflected in concrete measures. We are in concern close touch with oil producing countries and hope that we can find just solutions through appropriate mutual arrangements. We have satisfactory reserves of coal and sizable potential of hydroelectric power. We possess the technology for nuclear power generation. We are hopeful that our efforts at oil exploration will yield results. Given a little time and the necessary resources, we should be able to develop these to meet our needs. But the intervening years will be difficult and will call for the most disciplined effort on our part and understanding from our friends. Government is organizing a massive effort to develop our indigenous sources of energy and to maximize our earning from exports. Efficient and increased production of our own sources of energy and of export oriented industries outmost economy in the use of oil products and selective restraints on domestic consumption of exportable goods are essential for the success of this effort. I appeal to all sections of the people to cooperate fully with the measures that will be taken by government. The search for oil onshore and offshore will be pursued with vigor. The exploration which has begun in one offshore or will be intensified. We have already a joint venture for production of crude oil in Iran. The Oil and Natural Gas Commission has started exploration in a prospective area in Iraq and similar ventures elsewhere are under consideration. Schemes for the generation of power will be given his priority. Special attention being paid to improve the working of existing units and the earlier commissioning of projects which are in an advanced states of construction. The honorable member will have noted that allocation for the development plan at the center has been increased to rupees 11,000 crores. Important segments benefiting from this increase are the National Rural Employment Program, the Integral Rural Development and Allied Programs, and programs for the scheduled castes and tribes. A great deal of per budget propaganda had been carried on that the government would be dictated by outside elements. Even some honorable member has said so. This is not very becoming of members of this august parliament of a proud country. Yet, what do we see? It is the business circles which are most disappointed and most critical of the budget. The budget shows the full awareness of the urgent tasks before the nation is welfare of the weakest, employment, stimulation of production, containment of inflation, and safeguarding of our security. Even one is a formidable task in itself, but we are determined to achieve all of them. It is in line with this policy that we have decided to make the current year the year of productivity. Every economic activity must get the maximum out of potential created. We shall provide all the support necessary to increase productivity in industry and in agriculture, in the service sector, and in the infrastructure. I hope everybody will participate in this national effort. How can Bharat Bandhs be consistent with increased productivity? How can greater productivity be sustained if the essential services are disrupted time and again? I have always upheld the right of our labor and trade union movement, but they also have social obligations. A breakdown in any single essential service can paralyze the entire national economy, and obviously those who suffer mostly are usually the poorest and weaker sections. A strike in these industries cannot be taken lightly by anyone who is interested in the country's development. Some honorable members have referred to the problem of increasing real wages. The per capita income in our country has been increasing consistently since the beginning of planning until now. It has increased by about 50%, and this is at a time when the population itself is up by about 90%. Surely it should be clear to everybody that increase in productivity is the first condition necessary for any increase in the real wages of our working people. The working class itself increasing the real wages of our working people. The working class itself is gradually finding out who its real friends are. An honorable member complained that federalism was disappearing, and he spoke regarding the centralized finance and administration. This is an odd argument. The one difference is that it was voiced by left lists of West Bengal and Kerala.